So how is it that Passover and Easter got separated? I mean, how did you end up with a Jewish holiday and a Christian holiday? We know that Jesus, Yeshua, dies in the Passover season and has his Last Supper with his disciples in conjunction with the Passover. And we know that initially the early believers were familiar with this. I mean, look in 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 7 and 8. Paul's writing to the believers. They're mainly Gentile, but some Jewish believers among them. 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 7 and 8, he says, "Cleanse out the old leaven, that you may be a new lump as you really are unleavened. For Messiah, our Passover lamb, has been sacrificed. Let us therefore celebrate the festival, not with the old leaven, the leaven of malice and evil, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth." So they certainly knew about this, but what happened? You had a division over the first few centuries. Some part of the body following the early Jewish tradition of celebrating the death and resurrection of Jesus in conjunction with the Passover season. You had another part of the body, and this was an east-west division, basically, another part of the body that said, no, we'll have a fixed day, that we celebrate his death on a fixed Friday, his resurrection on a fixed Sunday. And then by the time you get to Constantine, Nicene Council, the time you get to Constantine now in the early 4th century, he explicitly says, we don't want to do this in association with those wicked Jews. In other words, we don't want to be dependent on these wicked Jews who crucified the Messiah to set the date of the Passover, and then we go with their date as things change on the lunar calendar, etc. So no, we'll do it as a fixed day, and he claimed that was the original apostolic tradition. So how did the dates get separated? Some of it comes down to antisemitism, a desire for the Christian community to be separated from the Jewish community. You think that was God? You think that was right? Not in my book, and as far as I can see, not according to the scriptures either.